Do you think Colombia is just about coffee plantations and Pablo Escobar? Wait until you find out about the country where it's illegal to be shirtless in your own home, where emeralds are more valuable than diamonds, and where there's a town that's been on fire for over 50 years. You won't believe what we're about to uncover. Number 15. In Colombia, you can legally be fined $500 for being shirtless inside your own house. You heard right, even in the privacy of your own home, Colombian law technically prohibits public indecency. And since many Colombian homes have open courtyards or windows facing public spaces, being shirtless can result in a hefty fine. This bizarre regulation stems from colonial-era Catholic influence that still permeates modern legal codes. Picture this. You're at home in Bogota on a sweltering 85-degree day, you take off your shirt to cool down, and suddenly you're facing a fine equivalent to half a month's minimum wage. The law applies to both men and women, though enforcement varies wildly depending on which neighborhood you live in. Working-class areas rarely see police enforcement, but upscale districts like Zona Rosa take it seriously. Think privacy laws protect you at home? Think again. In Colombia, your house isn't always your castle when it comes to dress codes. Number 10. Colombia has a hidden town called Centralia that has been literally on fire underground for over 50 years. Wait until you find out about this real-life hell on earth tucked away in the mountains near Medellin. In 1969, a coal mining accident ignited an underground coal seam, and the fire has been burning continuously ever since, creating a landscape that looks like something from a post-apocalyptic movie. The ground reaches temperatures of 180 degrees Fahrenheit, toxic gases seep through cracks in the earth, and the few remaining 63 residents live surrounded by warning signs and emergency evacuation routes. You can literally cook an egg on the sidewalk in some areas, and the eerie smoke rising from manholes and cracks creates an otherworldly atmosphere that attracts thrill seekers from around the world. The Colombian government has spent over $40 million trying to extinguish the fire, but experts estimate it could burn for another 250 years. Here's the scary part. Children in this town grow up thinking it's normal to see smoke coming out of the ground and to check soil temperature before walking anywhere. Number 9. Colombian emeralds are so pure that 70% of the world's finest emeralds come from just 3 mines, making them more valuable per carat than diamonds. Sounds unbelievable, but Colombian emeralds have a unique chemical composition that creates a vivid green color found nowhere else on Earth. The Muso, Cosquez, and Chivor mines produce gems so perfect that they're called Colombian green in the international jewelry market. A single high-quality Colombian emerald can sell for $18,000 per carat, while a comparable diamond might only fetch $12,000. The mines are so heavily guarded that they employ former military personnel and use armored vehicles to transport raw stones. Picture armed guards escorting trucks full of green rocks worth more than entire city blocks in Bogota. What makes this even more fascinating is that many miners work for years hoping to find just one stone that could change their lives forever, and when they do, they often have no idea they're holding a gem worth more than a luxury car. In Colombia's Amazon region, the Ticuna tribe has a coming-of-age ritual where teenage girls are buried alive for 24 hours with only their heads above ground. You heard right. This ancient ceremony called Pelar la Muchacha literally translates to peeling the girl and involves covering the girl's entire body, except her face, with clay and leaves, then burying her up to her neck in the earth. During these 24 hours she cannot eat, drink, or sleep, and must meditate on her transition from childhood to womanhood while village elders chant and perform dances around her. The ritual is believed to connect the girl with Mother Earth and ensure fertility and wisdom in her adult life. Here's the intense part. If she moves, speaks, or shows signs of distress, the ritual must start over, and some girls endure this multiple times. The psychological endurance required is extreme, and many anthropologists consider it one of the world's most challenging female initiation ceremonies. Think Western Sweet 16 parties are intense? This makes them look like casual picnics. Colombia is the only South American country where it's completely legal and socially acceptable for a woman to walk topless on any public beach, but wearing a bikini bottom without a top at a pool can get you arrested. Wait until you find out about this bizarre legal contradiction that confuses even Colombian lawyers. The law distinguishes between natural beaches and artificial aquatic spaces, meaning the same woman can be perfectly legal sunbathing topless at Cartagena's beaches, but face a $1,200 fine and possible jail time if she does the same thing at her hotel pool just 50 meters away. This strange regulation dates back to 1970s legislation that aimed to promote natural body acceptance at beaches while maintaining public decency standards at commercial establishments. Picture this: tourist women unknowingly break the law daily, while Colombian women navigate these invisible boundaries with practiced ease. Beach vendors have actually started warning foreign tourists about the pool rule because hotels got tired of paying legal fees for their confused guests. The enforcement is so inconsistent that some Colombian women purposely test the boundaries, leading to an underground movement called topless justice that protests the arbitrary nature of the law. Colombian drug cartels control such a massive portion of the global cocaine trade that they've actually caused inflation in the price of baking soda across 3 continents. Sounds like something out of a movie, but here's the economic reality. Cartels use so much baking soda to cut and process cocaine that they've created artificial shortages in legitimate markets worldwide. Industrial suppliers in North America, Europe, and Asia have seen baking soda prices increase by 340% over the past decade, directly traced to cartel purchasing power. The cartels buy baking soda in such enormous quantities, we're talking about 15,000 tons per month, that they've essentially cornered the market and can manipulate global prices better than most Fortune 500 companies. Here's the crazy part. Your grandmother's cookie recipe has gotten more expensive because Colombian criminals are buying up all the baking soda to process drugs. Legitimate businesses like industrial bakeries and chemical manufacturers now have to compete with organizations that have virtually unlimited cash and don't care about price. The economic ripple effect means that everything from household cleaning products to pharmaceutical manufacturing has been impacted by cartel activity thousands of miles away. In Colombia's La Guajira region, the Wayuu indigenous people practice a matriarchal society where women choose their husbands by literally lassoing them during traditional festivals, and the man cannot refuse or he's banished from the community forever. You won't believe how this ancient dating ritual actually works in practice. During the annual Yona festival, unmarried Wayuu women dress in elaborate traditional clothing and compete in a ceremony where they attempt to lasso the men they want to marry using hand-woven ropes called chinchorros. The twist is that men must participate in this ritual dance, and if a woman successfully lassos you, you are legally and socially bound to marry her according to tribal law. There's no dating period, no courtship, and absolutely no way to say no without facing complete social exile from the 400,000-strong Wayuu community. Here's where it gets really intense. Men train their entire lives to be agile enough to avoid lassos from women they don't want to marry, while simultaneously positioning themselves to be caught by women they do find attractive. Picture a bizarre combination of rodeo skills and speed dating where your entire future depends on your ability to dodge a rope or get caught by the right one. The psychological pressure is so extreme that some young Wayuu men have been known to flee to Venezuelan cities rather than participate, effectively choosing permanent exile over the possibility of an unwanted arranged marriage. Think modern dating apps are stressful? This makes them look like casual conversation. Number 4. Colombia has a secret underground salt cathedral built 600 feet below ground that's so massive it can hold 10,000 people and is considered one of the modern architectural wonders of the world. Yet most Colombians don't even know it exists. Wait until you find out about this incredible hidden masterpiece carved entirely out of salt rock beneath the town of Zipaquira, just outside Bogotá. This isn't just a tourist attraction, it's a fully functioning Catholic cathedral where people get married, attend mass, and hold concerts, all while standing inside what used to be active salt mines. The engineering feat required to create this space is mind-boggling. Every pillar, altar, and decorative element has been carved directly from the existing salt deposits, creating a natural acoustic environment so perfect that world-class musicians travel here specifically to record albums. Here's the incredible part. The cathedral maintains a constant temperature of 57 degrees Fahrenheit year-round without any heating or cooling systems, and the salt walls naturally purify the air, creating an atmosphere so clean that people with respiratory problems make pilgrimages here for healing. The lighting system uses colored LEDs to illuminate the salt crystals, creating an otherworldly glow that transforms the space into something that looks more like an alien cathedral than anything built by humans. What makes this even more surprising is that construction took 23 years and was completed entirely by local miners using traditional hand tools, yet the Colombian government barely promotes it internationally because they're worried about over-tourism damaging the delicate salt formations. Number 3. Colombian law requires that all citizens carry their national ID card at all times, and police can legally detain you for up to 12 hours without charges if you don't have it, leading to a black market industry worth $50 million annually selling fake IDs to tourists. You heard right, even tourists are expected to carry their Colombian cedula at all times, and the enforcement is so strict that forgetting your ID for a simple trip to buy groceries can result in being held at a police station until someone brings your documentation. This has created a thriving underground economy where criminal organizations produce incredibly sophisticated fake Colombian IDs, specifically for foreign tourists who want to avoid the hassle of carrying their passport everywhere. Here's the shocking part. These fake IDs are so well made that they often pass police inspection, and the going rate is $200 per card, with rush orders costing up to $500. The irony is that carrying a fake Colombian ID is a more serious crime than not carrying any ID at all, punishable by up to 8 years in prison, yet thousands of tourists risk it every year because the alternative, being detained multiple times during their vacation, seems worse. Picture being a backpacker in Cartagena and choosing between carrying your real passport, risking theft, or buying a fake ID, risking prison, just to walk around legally. Colombian police conduct random ID checks so frequently that locals have developed an entire culture around cedula anxiety, and there are smartphone apps that remind you to grab your ID before leaving home. Number 2. Colombia is home to an indigenous tribe called the Kogi, who live in complete isolation and believe that the rest of the world ended in 1492, and they've been performing daily rituals for over 500 years to prevent the planet from being destroyed by what they call the younger brother's mistakes. Sounds like science fiction, but this is absolutely real and happening right now in the Sierra Nevada mountains. The Kogi people, numbering about 12,000, have maintained zero contact with modern civilization and believe they are literally the older brothers of humanity, responsible for keeping the world in balance through complex daily ceremonies and offerings. They view all non-Kogi people as younger brothers who destroyed the world with cities, technology, and modern life, and they spend every day performing intricate rituals to counteract what they believe is our destructive impact on the planet. Here's the mind-blowing part. They've accurately predicted environmental disasters, climate change effects, and even specific weather patterns decades in advance using only their traditional knowledge and spiritual practices, leading some scientists to study their methods secretly from a distance. The Kogi have their own calendar system that's completely different from ours, their own mathematical concepts, and their own understanding of physics that somehow allows them to predict natural phenomena with uncanny accuracy. They believe that if they stop their daily rituals even for one day, the world will end immediately, so they've maintained this responsibility continuously for over 5 centuries without any outside contact or validation. Think modern environmental activism is intense? These people have been trying to save the planet every single day since before Columbus landed in America. Number 1. Colombia has a law that makes it illegal to die in certain towns, and if you do die there, your family faces massive fines and your body can be legally refused burial until the debt is paid. You won't believe how this actually works in practice, but it's completely true and actively enforced in over 30 Colombian municipalities. Towns like La Paz and several villages in Antioquia have passed local ordinances making death illegal because, well, their cemeteries are full and they just don't have the money to expand them or build new ones. If someone dies in these towns, their family must pay fines ranging from $2,000 to $15,000 before the body can be buried, and if they can't pay immediately, the deceased person's body is held in a refrigerated facility until the debt is settled. Here's where it gets absolutely surreal. Some families have gone into massive debt or even sold their homes to pay these death fines, while others have been forced to secretly transport dying relatives to neighboring towns where death is still legal. The enforcement is so strict that ambulance drivers now refuse to transport critically ill patients to these towns, and there's actually an underground network of death smugglers who help families move deceased relatives across municipal boundaries to avoid the fines. Picture having to choose between bankruptcy and giving your loved one a legal burial, or imagine being an elderly person who has to leave their lifelong home just to avoid financially destroying their family when they die. The most shocking part is that these laws have been upheld by Colombian courts as legitimate municipal authority, and several other cash-strapped towns are, considering implementing similar measures, potentially creating entire regions where death becomes a luxury only wealthy families can afford. So we've just discovered Colombia's most mind-bending secrets, from underground burning towns to tribes that think the world ended 500 years ago. Which one shocked you the most? The death fines or the lasso marriages? Hit that subscribe button if you want more incredible secrets from countries you thought you knew, because trust me, every nation has stories that will blow your mind.